Berta. Thank you for being here. Tarek, please tell us shortly about yourself.
I'm from Latvia, a region called Latgale, more specifically Balvi. It's a tiny little town surrounded by a lot of greenness, lakes, and that's basically the characteristic of Latgale, the region that it's actually, officially, it is called Land of Lakes. I do live in two countries, as in like partially. I do share some of my life with Greece, and I do share some parts of my life with Latvia. So I'm just like on two countries.
Talk more about your country, and maybe you can tell us three surprising facts about Latvia.
Well, I do found a lot of little places that I will include in my book that are will be okay. I do feel like if you travel to Latvia, in order to get a better sense of the country, the culture, the people, is if you like go to the local people business, to local people eat local people food, and I feel that that gives like really rich experience. And I did found a lot. It's a small community, but they put their passion into their little space, and they inform people about either Latvian traditions or Latvian food, Latvian language, and it's a part of, I think it's important part of like getting to know a country. If you know the history, and then you talk to local people, and then they give you little history and the food and all that comes together, and it's just like more rich experience when you come to Latvia. And it's like how you're supposed to experience it. Like there's no like you just go to one place and that's it. You have seen Latvia. Latvia is really diverse when it comes to either to weather or to the sceneries we have and all that. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you want to get like real taste of Latvia, you need to go to these little, like take little pieces and like put them together, and then you will say like, oh, okay, I know Latvia, I have been there. So yeah.
What are three dishes that you would highlight coming from Latvian local cuisine?
Okay, that's another thing that's I do. I might be wrong, maybe this is my subjective opinion, but when it comes to Latvian dishes, people take main ingredients and then they put like their own twist on it. For example, the thing that I miss, it's not exactly a dish, but it's like a snack, pine buds in honey. I think it's such a specific taste that maybe Latvians only crave, but it's really something you should try. But it's like more of a snack. It's basically it's made by steeping young tender pine buds in honey, and you just leave it, and it's like really concentrated taste of these buds. Another thing that's I do feel like is Latvian taste like is if you could get your hands on any local smoked fish, put that together with Latvian tomatoes, Latvian dill, just mix it all together and put it on the rye bread, and it's just so good. And I feel that's yeah. But when it comes to dishes, like as I said, I do feel like it's like you take anything that is seasonal, that is fresh, it's gonna be the taste, like the taste of Latvia.
Tell us about three beaches that you would recommend.
All right, so the magical thing about Latvia is that if you go, we have this coastline that is over, okay, I'm really bad with numbers, over 320 kilometers long. So if you go, for example, if you begin at Betati beach, you just go straight ahead, and it's just like unlimited. It's not Southern Hill in Greece. They have these beaches that are reserved almost like these places. But you go to Latvia, you just start at one point, and you just like take this long walk along all of the coastline and just enjoy the long walk. So, but the most I have heard people enjoy Jurmala. It all depends on the location you choose. If you want to, for example, also if you decide to go with Riga, then the closest will be if you take the train and you just go to the beach. I think it's like 20 minutes away, close to 20 minutes. You just go to the closest one and start your walk from there.
Okay, and what is the most exciting family-friendly activity to do in Latvia?
Come here with a family, and if you go out in the nature, be that forest hike, the different levels of difficulties. For example, even though I say a hike, it doesn't mean it's like you have to like literally like, I don't know, get on top of the mountain. You just take your family, go to the forest, you pack some food, maybe Latvian food with you, just take a walk, and then throughout that walk through the forest, you can see amazing sceneries. Kids can run around, and basically that's what I grew up. We would always go and be in nature, and that's something to understand. Like if you come to Latvia, we have 55% of Latvia it's forest, 10% of Latvia it's bogs. So you need to realize that if you're not exactly a very like nature enthusiast, you'll be not disappointed, but you'll be like, where's the cities? We do have that, but mostly it is really green.
What are three most famous or interesting hiking points?
So all it depends on the season you will choose. Latvia has really distinctive four weathers. It was summer, autumn, winter, and spring. So if you, for example, decide to come to Latvia in wintertime, in the deep winter months, any walk to the either nearest forest, nearest park, it will be really magical because we do have a lot of snow. For example, if you come here at autumn, that's when we have like this thing where the trees they turn like these at least three different colors. Then the place to go is Sigulda. You can get on top of this hill, and so you get to oversee Rundalis Pils, trees, a lot of colors, and it's just like really breathtaking view. When it comes to spring, again, if you prefer something like more that takes extensive physical effort, you go a little bit outside of Riga and take a hike. Any place that's again you will see a lot of forest, it will do the job, because I do feel like that's something to keep in mind when you travel to Latvia for weathers, and then to plan them accordingly. If you do not love cold, then you should avoid Latvia during the winter months.
Okay. Are there any traps that tourists needs to be aware of before visiting to Latvia?
I mean, ill-minded people, I mean, they're everywhere. Something that's, I'm not sure if it would be considered a trap. For example, when you come to airport in Riga, I would suggest you download taxi apps and call a taxi through them, through those apps, not to catch them taxis by the entrance, because they might charge you more. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Obviously, you need to be, aware of your surroundings, aware of your stuff. But other than that, I will go ahead and say that Latvia is a safe place to travel. I have traveled myself, and returning to Latvia always either because it's my home, that's where I grew up, but I do have this sense of like little peace there. So I do think that it's a safe place, especially since now it's so popular for people to take those solo trips. I do think that Latvia is a great place to go to do that.
Couple of solo friendly activities to do for our solo travelers.
Again, Riga, I feel it's pretty safe when it comes to any kind of activities, because it can offer you if you prefer nightlife, it has that. It has a little bit of cultural stuff. You can witness that through either restaurants or 20 minutes travel with tram, you end up in this area called Measure Parks, which is again extremely green place. You can just take a walk there, take a bicycle rides and stuff like that.
For our romantic couples to do, I think that is very special.
Well, I guess when it comes to couples, I would go and seek it outside of Riga to get a little bit of peace, a little bit of quiet. So head to Latgale, close rents a little house by the either a lake or a pond, and so take the traditional Latvian sauna and experience with all the experience of making your own, like, scrub, and then getting into the sauna, getting steamed with all of the rosemary and juniper berry. They put it on the stones of the sauna, and then the steam, it like gives you like this extremely nice vibe raising feel. So yeah, stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
And what do you think? Why is your book the best travel book about Latvia?
I have put my efforts into it to make it to include stuff, since I don't think Latvia is exactly like really out there when it comes to traveling. So I did my best to put interesting facts in Latvia, to cover the traditional part, history part, and inform people. And just like I hope intrigue them to come to Latvia and see for themselves. So I can assure that I put my effort into it. And as a Latvian, I do feel close to nature and all the rituals and all herbs and all that. So there will be a lot of things like that where you can get to know Latvia from that side. Or traditional way, then it's like used to saying.
And the next question is going to be more personal. What is one thing no one knows about you?
Well, I have kept this book a secret, so we'll see how that one goes. I mean, because I thought as when I finish it, when I will have that hard copy, I will say, see what I did. That's the only thing. It's really nice, and also like I just trying to keep it, and also I feel like I do overthinking, and I feel like, oh, this is such a responsibility to write, like to write about Latvia and put it out there. And some people who have never been to Latvia, which is pretty high possibility, they will see the book and it will be like, from my perspective, what I feel like people should see in Latvia. And when I was like, what if they don't like it? What if I get like backlash from other Latvians and they say these are not the places to see, stuff like that. But I do try to keep like, I did my best. This is what I feel. This is what I'm proud of. If you do not agree with me, then you are open and you're welcome to write your own book, so.
One thing you want the world to know about IziMark Publishing and the mission we are focused on?
The thing that I mentioned, giving people a chance, people who are passionate about something, then the IziMark Publishing is the way to go, place to go, because they will support you even if you like have these, if there is a deadline, you will not get like this immense pressure or push, okay, deadline. They will actually come to you, check in with you, like, how is it going? If you're gonna say like, I'm a little bit stuck, they will put in the effort to actually make sure you're right, that you do not like lose your head and lose your, I don't know, hair about this, but you will like approach it and you will enjoy the process and you will be just emotionally stable doing that.
We're gonna summarize our conversation today at this point. Maybe before we finish, there is something you would like to share, or a topic to touch upon before we end.
When it comes to traveling to Latvia, you need to make sure that you do check in with weather, like whatever is your preference, and then because it does depend on the activities that will be available to you. And that's another thing to keep in mind whenever you decide to come to Latvia. Each of the seasons do offer things. There's like plenty of things to do, but first, like, decide like, okay, so am I comfortable with winter? Then go from there when planning a trip to Latvia.
Summer is ahead. What do you think is the best thing to do in summer?
Oh, I would go ahead. I would definitely visit Riga, but I would, for example, visit Riga. You just, as in you fly to Riga, you will land in Riga. Just take an evening walk through the hotel, through the little streets, have some snack in local restaurants, and then when the sun is up, the next day you gotta go and see any part of other regions, which is either Latvia, where you will see these extreme amounts of lakes and rivers, and it's the bluest parts of Latvia, bluest, I guess, yeah. And then when you can go to the, what I'm trying to say is just to soak in as much as you can, and just just want to let people know that there's so much more to Latvia than Riga, because when you talk to people, lots of times you just say like, "Oh, I'm from Latvia." They're like, "Oh, where's that?" And you just say, "Okay, Baltic states." They're like, "I don't know." And then you just say, and then when you mention Riga, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know Riga." So I'm just wanting to people to know that there's so much to Latvia than Riga. Riga is great. You should see it definitely, but just make sure that you do experience at least one another region and one another city, either Kuldiga or Cesis, either Jelgava or anything that is other outside of Riga, to get like the true experience and fullest experience of Latvia.
That sounds like a great tip, I believe. Okay, how do you say thank you in your language, Roberta?
It's paldies.
Say again, please.
Paldies.
Paldies.
Yes, there you go. Very good.
Okay, paldies, Roberta. It was really nice to meet you, and as you are engaged in.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and same to you.
Bye.
Where are you from?
I'm from Armenia.
Oh,
So
okay.
we are kind of, culturally close at least. I guess we share this Eastern European vibe, some between.
Yeah, but is there someone writing a book about Armenia as well?
Yes, there is. There is someone writing the book. Yes.
Oh, have you interviewed the person who's writing the book for Armenia? That would
Not
be
yet.
interesting
Not
to see
yet.
the perspective. Okay.
But it will come soon. It
Mm-hmm.
will be in the list. We have like so many authors. What we are trying to do at the moment is like to have the book more or less finished before we interview. So, we can get a really beautiful insight from our authors. That's the reason we do the interviews, to really like not promote the project in terms of like advertisement, but in terms of actually spreading the information and the knowledge behind this project, because I feel like just people here maybe, oh, it's just a travel book, so we want to share what might be there that is not about travel specifically. Maybe it's more about the culture, and as you mentioned in one of your answers, it's from your angle, Latvia from your angle and from locals angle, so it's valuable to have document.
Yeah, that's true. It's also, I did check the interviews that already have, and it's really interesting the way people approach. Like, as obviously, if you write, not only you're in charge of how you're gonna structure the book and all that, but also you other puts in the stuff that you feel that people should see. So I think that's interesting perspective to see, like how people think and what is like a place to see, place to be, and which they feel like that's nothing special, but this is the place to be. So I think that's also really interesting to see.
Yes, and it's also very, for me, it's interesting that all the authors, although maybe we have like the same question lists or whatever to follow, but everyone comes up with something authentic, something coming from their own view of their country. And I guess that's really nice too. Thank you very much, Roberta. Have a nice day ahead.
All right, thank you, Lilith. You have a good day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.